Hey Rolling 20 fans, this is G, and I'm here to tell you today about a new sponsor for our show, Casey's Irish Pub. This is an honest-to-God, Boston or Chicago-style Irish pub located in downtown Los Angeles. They serve cooked food, 11 kinds of beer, and 49 different Irish whiskeys from 3 different distilleries. What does that mean? That means if you're looking for a good drink during a Los Angeles convention, you don't have to go far. If you're headed to Los Angeles for E3, Kamikaze, Anime Expo, the Los Angeles Car Show, or one of the hundreds of events happening near the Staples Center, then a good meal and a glass of Guinness is just a short walk away. Jeremy, the loud guy who won't shut up when we do our own podcast, he actually ate there during the last Anime Expo. And he said this. Forgive me if I don't sound like the guy. I went to Casey's Pub looking for a place to bring people for a good night of food and found it when I was driving people on my way back to the Los Angeles Convention Center. We went back and I had the best steak pot pie in my life down there. My wife had a good whiskey to sip, and 8 of us had fun talking and eating in a place that looked like it belonged in a movie. Casey's just a couple of blocks from the Westin Bonaventure. That means it's close to one of Anime Expo's own shuttle stops. We're even hosting a photo shoot there during the 2014 Anime Expo. If you want more details on that, email us at mspfreight@yahoo.com. Hey, so do yourself a favor. And don't stock up on bad beer and try to mix something sitting at the desk of your hotel room. Ride the elevator, get off at the Bonaventure, and walk to Casey's Irish Pub to get some drinks by their bartenders. Make some new memories and have some fun. We want to see you there.
Hello everybody, this is Anthony Bionis from Mission Star Podcast, and we have another edition of the Conover podcast that is fit and willing to criticize your convention because we can. For tonight's or afternoon or whatever you may be listening in during the day or night, with me tonight is Apple. Hang on a minute, because I always get your last name wrong. It's Apple Davies. Yeah. And with her is her partner in crime, Clayman. I forgot your last name too. Sorry. Welcome to you. Welcome.
Hello.
And they are with me tonight to talk about their time at the convention.
Kollision Con.
Kollision Con.
Yeah.
Where was that held at, by the way?
Kollision Con is held at the Hyatt Regency O'Hare in Rosemont, Illinois. That venue is also home to Con Alt Delete, Anime Central, Midwest Fur Fest, as well as a lot of other conventions. It's kind of the go-to staple for Chicago conventions.
And you should also note this was actually their first year.
No. That was their first year there. Oh, yeah. That was their first year there. And at the Hyatt Regency O'Hare. And it was their 5th year of convention.
I see. Interesting. Okay. So this was a kind of debut of that location for this convention.
Mm-hmm.
What was their last location at before moving?
We do not know.
This was actually our first
convention
as well.
Experience with this convention, and we were actually invited up as we were technically cosplay guests, but they didn't want to call us cosplay guests, so we were featured panelists. But when we got there, we got guest badges, and we'll get into that in a moment. So we went as they wanted us there to talk about cosplay and everything. We did 8 panels, over the weekend we were supposed to judge the masquerade from what I was told originally, and then we got bumped for some reason, and
Definitely
it
the
was
most
weird.
panel work I've done in a weekend.
Interesting. So, tell me about this convention. Like, kind of tell me what was your guys' experiences there, in terms of your weekend.
Let's see, as far as the venue, the hotel was incredibly nice. It was almost the exact same setup as the Hyatt in Atlanta, Georgia. I mean,
Regency downtown.
I was literally getting deja vu from when we were at Dragon Con, taking wrong turns, thinking I was going the right way. Yeah, but the venue, incredibly nice, very well kept. Most of the panels were held downstairs from the main lobby.
We were in the basement.
Yeah. Both the vendors and Artist Alley were together in the same room, and as well as where they had the guests doing the autographs and other things in the back same room, which was kind of nice, just being able to go to one area to get all those things. Let's see, all of the...
The bad thing about it is that we were in the basement at the end of a long corridor, and a lot of the people, there was like a level, and then there was the street level underneath it. So you kind of had to go up to get to the hotel, and then there was the basement underneath that, and we were in the basement. So a lot of the foot traffic from the street never made it down to us, and it was kind of really quiet. It was kind of, there wasn't a lot of people there.
And I think a good portion of that was there was not a lot of signage at this convention. From what I was told, there was a schedule app that was available for phones. I tried getting it for my Android and was having problems to ever get it to load all weekend. I don't know if other people were running into the same issues, but not a lot of direction.
There wasn't any printed schedules, and they got like 50 of them on Saturday, and if you're going to have a convention, you're going to be expecting more than 50 people, and we were told to expect 1,500, and there was maybe 400 the whole weekend. I don't know how many badges they sold, but not very many people showed up. There wasn't any signage anywhere. Like, we didn't know where ConOps was. We didn't know where registration was, because when we first got there and you go to convention, it's nice to see, hey, this is where you go, or hey, you have a helper standing outside with a sign. A lot of conventions do, like A-Con, IkiCon, we've been to those, and there's always somebody in a convention t-shirt standing out and saying, hey, this is registration, this is where you need to go. There wasn't any of that. It was really disjointed. The staff was wonderful. Everybody there was absolutely helpful, all the volunteers. I didn't really see much of the convention, the comm chairs, since we were down in the vendor hall a lot of our time. But the main problem with the convention was just that it was very disjointed and disorganized, in the sense of nobody really knew where they needed to be or what time. And we were running 8 panels, and we were there to run panels, and they didn't even have signs for our panel rooms to say, hey, this goes there, this goes here, which is like a free service that most hotels actually give the conventions.
Yeah, it was nothing against any of the staff or people in charge of organization. It was simply that lack of direction for the masses that are going there to get direction. So we saw a lot of written signs for people who were putting their panels up.
Yeah, we had to write our own signs for our panels, which was a first.
Interesting. So from the sounds of things, it sounds like you guys didn't quite have the best time in the world at that convention.
Yeah, again, everything was in place for it to be wonderful. You had all these different types of panels. You had phone sword fighting, how to hack computer systems. You had a huge variety, how to break dance, tons of different things that encompass all these different parts. But For some reason, the direction to get them there, it just was lacking in that part.
I see. I see. So in terms of like, what do you think were the problems that was it the staff and experience, or was it what exactly led to these problems at that convention?
I think that they were just unprepared. Like they weren't ready to. They just got behind somewhere, which happens to everybody. I mean, we're all human. But someone forgot to send the papers to Kinko's to get printed. You know, print the schedules out, something like that. I mean, it's a small error, but it can really hurt your entire convention. I think it was just maybe an accident since they've been doing the convention for 5 years.
And I can understand with the modern age, people trying to go more digital and have the schedules and events accessible that way. But again, when you have people running into problems, pulling that stuff up on their phones, you always got to have that fallback of a printout.
Yeah, I mean, even Dragon Con, we went this past year, we went to Dragon Con, we didn't do the report over it, commission start, but we were there. They had an app and it didn't work half the time.
Interesting. Was this an app that they created themselves, or were they going off a third-party app?
I don't know. I just know that it didn't work. I was like, this doesn't work, and I don't know what anything is. But the vendor room, I do want to speak on the vendor room, because this is one of the best vendor rooms I've been to in a long time. It really lived up to the name of Kollision Con, because there wasn't just anime, there wasn't just steampunk, there was something for everybody there. There was a guy who was doing like Mad Max stuff and selling awesome post-apocalyptic stuff. The designer for Ariel, Philo Barnhart, was there. Wonderful, amazing man. I got some commissions done by him of Ariel.
As any Disney fangirl should.
As any Disney fangirl should. And the vendor room was amazing, and I'm going to go over some of the vendors that I have, if that's all right, because I would really like to recognize them, because I know we all lost money that weekend, because we were vending as well, and give them the recognition they deserve, because they were just awesome. Some of them here, I have a few that I'd like to kind of feature and give a shout out. One of them is Mythica, Mythica Von Griffin. She is a body painter.
Oh, nice.
And,
Yeah.
for the life of me, I'm blanking on the name of the competition, but she was actually on the
Like skin.
TV program as one of the contestants on it, and her work was amazing. You could see people walking around with face paint, and as soon as you saw it, you knew it was her work because of how detailed it was.
It was amazing. Like one day she had a fish on her face, and it looked like it was coming off of her face, and it was
so
real.
Cool.
And it was really nice to see stuff like that. Do you want to talk about this one since you
Yeah.
experienced these people?
I was fortunate enough to get some time in the evening to break away and try out the game rooms they had. They had two. One was the tabletop trading card room area, and then the other was the video game lounge. I got to play around with both, and I actually won $5 for being the first to play Barbie Adventure for the Sega Genesis. Yeah.
And all the arcades for free, which was nice.
Yes.
Just playing
That's
puzzle
awesome.
fights.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Puzzle Fighter for free. That was crazy.
That was fun.
In the board game room, there was actually a group of people who were the creators of the game, and actually they're demoing it. And the game is called Kitsune of Foxes and Fools. And the game is very cool. Each player gets their own little fox spirit, and the object of the game is to earn your tails. But what's awesome about it is the fools are basically characterizations of real-world people. So you have, like, the cad, you have the shady businessman, you have just all of these real-world tropes and stereotypes that you're playing tricks on in order to earn your tails. And it was really a ton of fun. I highly recommend playing it. You can check their Facebook page out at Bad Decision Games. And again, the Kickstarter is just taking place right now. And if you contribute, I believe you get a limited edition artwork Because we played it there, we actually got some of the first edition artwork for playing with the developers. So I highly suggest anybody who likes playing tricks and being not only catty to themselves and to their friends, it's a good time.
Basically, it's just like, hey, do you like Japanese mythology? Yes. Do you like screwing people over, especially your friends? Yes. Yeah. And needless to say, our friend bought the game, so we've been playing it at the house.
Nice, nice.
My last little shout out was a girl that I met named Lillian Verse. She does almost everything. She makes a lot of cosplay accessories. She makes like ears out of warbler, which are hypoallergenic, because some people are allergic to latex. I know some people might be allergic to metals and other things that could be, you know, like elf ears and stuff that are made out of. She also does custom etching on pint glasses.
She has some really cool ones.
Awesome Zelda ones.
Awesome.
Moon ones. Basically, it's just, oh my gosh, she was so awesome, and she was a nice person as well. Some other people that were there, just a quick list. There was Popstar, which makes furry accessories, which I bought a hoodie because I couldn't resist. Spinneret, which is a comic about a girl who is she's like Spider-Man, but she actually has, I think she has 8 arms.
Well, what
pretty cool.
What surprised me is that the artwork is really on par for like Skullgirls and Street Fighter. Very, very muscular tones to a lot of the characters with a little bit more of the Japanese stylization. Just a really, really incredible amount of detail in the art.
Stephen Murphy. We have BK Armory, which I think was the guy from...
I believe
awesome post-apocalyptic.
Yeah.
band.
Oh gosh, he was really, really cool. One of the things that he did that I had not seen done anywhere else is that he's doing the post-apocalyptic style stuff, and so he actually has armor and stuff made out of tire tread.
Oh my gosh, I need it.
No way, seriously? Holy
Yeah,
shit.
it was really cool.
Like it was tires. I was like, this is tires. And he was just like, yes. And I'm just like, no, you don't understand. This is tires. I want it.
Wow.
He had there was the softball helmet with the skill saw blade sticking out of the top.
And antlers and just everything. And it was like $900 and I needed it. And I did. Bosway Arts. Purple Tree Studios. Rainbow Lion Designs, Dragonfly's Dream Shop, Sculptural Renaissance, Sombra Studio, I always can't pronounce this one, Deverish also, that's D-E-V-E-R-I-S-H, Deverish also, which is a comic, Twisted Fantasy, Vaughn, Trevor, I think it's Trevor Mueller, Trevor, I don't know. And people are making these cards, and they make these awesome fonts, and then I can't read them.
Right.
A webcomic about wrestling.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
Tasty Peach Studios for all of your zombie alpaca needs.
Mm.
And then this really cool place where you can make your own backpack called EQUNIT.com, which basically has any sort of backpack that you can ever need, and you can make it and build it, and everything's interchangeable. It's like Build-A-Bear, but with backpacks.
And when we say that, it's not just like swatches, like on watches, where you can change the colors and stuff. It's very compartmentalized. So let's say you want a section of your backpack to just hold your laptop and have that slivered to that small size. You can have that as the back part attached to your straps. But let's say you're not taking your laptop that day. You can pull that part out and just have it be like the giant carrying part for your books. It's pretty much a Lego system for backpacks.
It was really cool. And the awesome post-apocalyptic tire tread armor skeleton thing, it was actually Dustin Clinton, and he is with Roll for Damage. So if you want to look him up, it's facebook.com/rollfordamage, a fellow person. He lives in our area, so.
Awesome. Awesome. That's really cool. It's really sick stuff.
Yeah.
In terms of your time being there, any particular cosplay that stood out to you guys?
Could you repeat the question?
I had a little bit of breakup, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Now, in terms of the cosplay, was there any particular cosplay that stood out to you guys when you were
Oh
there?
my gosh, there was a guy dressed as Rocket the raccoon from Guardians of the Galaxy, and he was like a grown man in a rocket fursuit with a proportional sized gun that plays music.
That is
I
awesome.
didn't get his name, but his photo was on my Facebook.
He had the mixtape playing the entire weekend. That
That's
was
so
crazy,
sick.
right? There was not music being filtered in or any of the speaker
Yeah, it was
system
very
for the
quiet.
convention. So as soon as he approached you, he had walking music backing him up. It was
Yeah.
That's so cool.
The cosplayers were all amazing. We met a lot of people that were there. They were all so nice, so great. There wasn't anything that's, like, it wasn't, like, stepped off of a movie set from Hollywood, crazy cosplay. It was all just normal stuff, which is what I like to see. I like to see people. I like it when I can tell that you made your stuff, like even if you made a skirt and I can see your hemlines or anything. Being someone, like, I really appreciate people that make their stuff. There was a lot of cosplayers, which is always nice for us. I didn't really cosplay that much. I had a hiccup.
Yeah, somebody was too sexy for the convention.
Yeah, I
so
was
they're gonna change.
asked to change.
Huh, really? Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to make a big deal about it. It's one of those things that happens.
Okay.
It's not a big deal to me. It's usually just roulette, how that happens at conventions.
Yeah. And I will say, as far as the cosplay goes, the place where badge check was on the lower set of escalators. So my personal belief is that there was a lot of people who showed up in costume just strictly for cosplay who didn't actually ever go down to the convention part.
Interesting.
Yeah, and again, at that main lobby, you saw some more professional photography setups. We had people doing music videos. Again, there was tons of stuff in place for all this cool stuff to happen, just not that scheduled to tell you when it's
Yeah,
happening.
our problem was we had a desk table and we were down in the vendor room and we stayed there most of the convention and thinking that people would come down to the guest room and they were not there. But I saw some amazing stuff going. I wish we were able to judge the costume contest. I wish that message was relayed so that I could tell you about amazing costumes. Because I saw a man who looked like he was riding a dragon, which is fantastic, and then some amazing ball gowns, but that I don't remember what they were from because I've been playing way too much Pokemon lately to do anything.
A lot of age variety as well. We saw some 10, 12-year-old groups of friends just look like the entire Black Butler group.
Yeah,
Oh, that's cute.
and then there was a group of, I think they were in their early 20s, and they came with their mom, and their mom was cosplaying, and she was someone from League of Legends.
Yeah, it was
The
a
girl
cool
with the pandas, and she was just awesome. And then there was also a lady that was working there that had to have been in her 70s or 80s that was volunteering.
She was awesome.
And she had on a little tiger cloak and ears all weekend, and she looked so cute. So
Nice. I was like,
Yep.
for cosplays like that, I always love when families get involved or loved ones or anything of that nature because that just makes it like just even like more fun than just going with your friends, you know?
oh yeah, it's awesome.
And, I mean, that's a good way to get started, too, is not everybody has a group of friends who are all into that, but say you have one person who is. I see nothing wrong in getting the family unit involved because that's just going to bring you closer together to have those shared experiences.
And plus, like, if you need money, your mom's there, right?
That's true.
That's
That is
funny.
very true.
Yeah, that's what parents are for. It's like, Mom, come to the anime convention. JK, pay for everything. Yeah, don't do that, kids. Let the parents go with the kids. We're trying to drag Clay's parents. They still go, even though we promised them the armory of Dragon Con.
That's cool, but that's good to hear as well.
Oh, yeah.
In terms of food places around the convention, were they in relatively short distance away, or was it one of those cases where it was kind of a walk just to find some food?
They were not. The only
Yeah.
place that was local was the restaurant inside of the hotel, which was
They didn't even serve food.
closed down outside of breakfast hours.
Yeah.
And then they had the
There was
bar
a-
area that was at night.
The High Regency O'Hare is kind of by the airport. There's like a McDonald's close by, or you can go to a mall and go to a food court.
Yeah.
But,
There was a 5 minutes out for getting your generic fast food.
yeah, but you couldn't walk to anything. Like, it wasn't downtown, which,
This time of year was
Yeah.
also extremely cold, so
It was
nobody wants to
snowing.
walk outside when it's snowing.
It snowed when we were leaving. It was very cold,
I see.
which is something you're probably not used to.
We actually had an experience. We drove a little bit
Yeah.
ways out, maybe like 10, 15 minutes out.
Can I explain something right quick?
Yeah.
Our convention schedule, we bring food and we eat it on the weekend, and which is something I really recommend doing, because you can go to Walmart and get stuff for like $40, like sandwich stuff to eat over the weekend while you're in the room. We do that. On Fridays we order pizza, and then on Saturdays we'll go out and eat. And we went to this fantastic restaurant I found on Urban Food called Hands On, and oh my gosh, it was Thai and sushi.
And I want to explain for anyone older than 21, it is BYOB, which means you can bring your own alcohol.
Oh, okay. I see.
Or whatever. I mean,
Yeah,
they don't care.
yeah, which is something that's very few and far between throughout the United States. It's kind of a region-specific thing.
I didn't know we had it in the Midwest.
Yeah, amazing Thai food. It's very impressive when you can get mussels that are cooked perfectly that's not in a coastal area. I know Chicago's close to the Great Lakes, but this type of seafood with crawfish and Italian style was some of the best seafood I've ever tasted. When you have food that makes you feel like an addict 5 minutes after you've eaten the food, making you want to go back and get more, it's really
Our friend was almost crying, and he is a chef. He doesn't say that food is good very often, and he said that this food was good. And it was not very expensive. I think I had drunken noodles, and they were $8, and they were full of beef and deliciousness. And we ate a lot of food.
Everyone got desserts. I got the fried ice cream that was green tea.
No, what was it called? It was like fist.
Yeah.
It was fist.
It was
It was like Ninja Fist. It's something about ninjas.
Yes.
Fist. Sorry, it had a cool name.
Yeah. And I swear the three of us could have eaten just that one dessert by itself. It was so huge, but because of the top on the menu, I thought it was going to be like half the size of my two fingers.
And I had taro pudding, it was good. And I don't like taro. But it was nice having the mall close by, because, I mean, if you got tired of the convention, you can go over there. It was a weird location.
I think with a little bit more of the written organization, again, it's nothing on the staff. Everyone who was there was extremely helpful. I just think that written guidance and some signage up in places would have changed the not only
Entire feel.
atmosphere, but a lot of the comments that people had about the convention as well.
I see. Okay. I kind of have that same feeling for one of the conventions over here. It's like the location is kind of like on its own, kind of in the middle of the desert type of deal. And while there are food places around it, it is kind of a walk, and they're kind of
That's what you
pricey.
get for going to Burn, man.
Yeah, I can't tell you, man. It's crazy. It's crazy over there, man.
Well, I mean, I don't really have a problem with the venue and the location because, I mean, ASIN is there.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there were 2 restaurants in the hotel that were just not open. There was like a
Interesting.
bar with a restaurant that had a limited menu, and then there was a full restaurant, and they were just not open.
I see. Interesting. Yeah, definitely probably would have benefited if it was open, um, like during the convention hours, or even like late into the night. Because if there's one thing that we've all learned is that some of us who go to conventions are either have a lot of money or just enough for food. So either way, it's gonna be spent on food one way or another.
Definitely.
Yeah.
There weren't any food trucks.
Oh, there were no food trucks there?
No food trucks.
Ah.
Because I know sometimes at conventions like at ACON, and I guess now AFES, since I think AFES is at the same location as ACON was, downtown in Dallas, food trucks just pull up.
And that's us getting spoiled, too.
That's us being spoiled.
Yeah. Because food trucks aren't a necessity. That's just something that we really love about the Chicago area, is that
And every metropolitan area.
this is honestly like the first convention I've been up there where they didn't have like a big variety of food outside of the hotel coming up. So it was interesting.
Well,
Okay.
in comparison, if I could, the next convention that we're going to is actually Chi-Fi, that's CHI-SRI. It's downtown. And right across the street is Dick Blick, which is an art supply store. And there's a fabric store around the corner, and about 20 restaurants just packed in this downtown area. And it's at the Palmer House Hilton, and I like that experience more just because I could walk and get a slice of pizza or walk and get a falafel.
Awesome.
But that's also the point of the different venues in the area. You can have a very different variety of things outside. I guess probably will stray away from speaking about that, though, because that's not always stuff that's within the convention's hands. That's just kind of what it's surrounded by.
I see. Okay. I mean, I definitely get that some conventions have no other choice but to take that location. Well, other locations would have been great. Some choices, can't be avoided. But yeah, I definitely hear you. In terms of and we kind of touched on this lightly, but like, how was the staff there, in terms of the con staff and hotel staff?
Incredibly helpful. The first day,
Wonderful.
we ended up arriving earlier than planned. I think we got there about 10 o'clock. None of the con ops had been set up just yet, but they were extremely helpful in, even though the things weren't set up yet, directing us to where it was going to be, who we needed to talk to. Probably more on us being there early and prepared to get things done. But from what I saw, con ops was very well done. The panel room area had a secondary staff room to help with the organization. There was at any times 2 people doing badge checks at the elevators, just because ghosting is a problem at any convention.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's done it.
I didn't do it by choice. They gave me a badge with Apple's name on it.
Yeah, they gave us 4 Apple badges. It was very, like I said, the organization was a little bit out there.
Okay, I see. So, so I can only imagine you, Clay, going around the con and like people asking, "What's your name?" "Oh, hi, Apple."
Everyone was Apple. They were my Apple entourage.
Yeah. We had a friend helping us with the booth, and they were also apples.
We're all Apple.
That's awesome.
You guys, you're my copy, my
That's
entourage,
right.
because I need one.
That's pretty cool. Was there any incidents or just kind of like interesting events that happened right in front of you that only a convention could provide?
There wasn't that many people. There was one guy who was roller skating.
I will say, as far as unique experience, yes.
Are you talking about?
Yeah, I for the life of me, I'm blanking on this gentleman's name. But he looked to be a little bit older gentleman, big bushy handlebar mustache, kind of the long hair going down past his shoulders, in roller derby skates. And the gentleman was already like 6'5". So rolling around in the vendor hall on roller skates, definitely have not seen that at any other convention.
Yeah, like he said something to me about them, and I was just like, he was like, "Are you jealous of my skates?" And I was like, "No, I'm just wondering how you got past security with those." Because I've seen like Air Gear cosplayers get chewed out for skates, and
oh, my heart for Jet Radio. Yeah.
we're told that a few weeks before Midwest Fur Fest happened, and there was a chlorine attack in the stairwell.
Wow. What, really?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
One of our friends who was helping us, she said that she thinks that that's why that there wasn't that many people there, but there was these people who poured powdered chlorine down the stairwell, and about 6 people had to go to the hospital.
Okay. Wow, that's crazy.
So it was a little bit of a stigma on the convention. Like all the convention center, not the convention itself. But
Oh, right, for sure.
Nothing really crazy happened.
One thing that was unique that one of the vendors was doing was making, they were getting ready to release their online game, and they were making custom badges with the character's registered name so that nobody else could claim it, and then you actually had that official artwork there.
For Villa.
So that's something that you can't get online. You can't get it through like Kickstarter or anything. It's something that they were only doing if you went to the convention.
So, I mean, if you like Avatar websites like Gaia Online or Subeda, definitely check out Furvella because it kind of gives a little furry twist on that. And the artwork is just adorable and so cute.
And all ages.
And all ages.
Yeah, it's very important when we talk about furry things to let them know it's all ages. Oh, that's a rabbit hole.
Yeah, which I wish wasn't there.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Cool.
I mean, it was really, really good. We met a lot of new people. I always like going as a guest or a featured panelist or someone because I get to sit at a table and talk to everybody. I love talking to people. And, I mean, there were so many great people at the convention that it was kind of a shame that it wasn't a little bit bigger because it makes me wonder.
I honestly feel like it was big enough. It was just a lack of direction for the traffic.
Interesting. Okay. In terms of, let's see, I'm trying to think. What do you think the convention could have done differently to maybe attract more people or to kind of fix some of the mistakes that happened during the con?
Put some signs out. So go to Kinko's or FedEx or Office Depot and just get some signs made. That was all they really needed, was just some signage.
Yeah, there was a full PA system that they could have used at any time to their advantage, letting even folks know of announcements of when things were happening, because there was, again, no music playing throughout any of it.
I went and asked if I could make an announcement, because at some conventions they have a PA system where they can announce things over the convention, like, you know, beginning cosplay starts in 10 minutes, go to the panel room, which a lot of conventions I've been to have done that, and I was like, can I make an announcement? And the person was like, just yell. I was like, there's nobody down here. That's why there's a PA system.
Interesting.
Yeah. The arcade was awesome. All the machines were free to play. They had a Neo Geo cabinet, which I mean, that is always a staple I look for, but
The
that's because
D&D.
I'm an old,
Not D&D, not
I'm an old
D&D.
one.
DDR.
Yeah.
They also had D&D, but they also had DDR when we were talking about arcade cabinets.
DDR, they had Super Puzzle Fighter, which is kind of more a rare one for me to find.
DDD. There's too many.
Street Fighter 2, another good classic.
Oh yes, nice.
Oh, yeah.
It was fun. And they were all free to play.
And
yes.
crazy is that there weren't huge lines or anything. I maybe had to wait for one person to finish playing their turn, and then I was on there.
Yeah, nice and quiet. We didn't go to any of the dances. I will say I heard that the Friday rave was canceled, and then we were doing panels until 9 p.m. on Saturday, so we didn't get to go do any of that. We were wanting to go to the ball, but we were doing panels.
Okay.
And I mean, as far as the panels, they were all, the people that we interacted with who came to ours were all very enthusiastic. They were there to learn new things, and we love seeing that. We don't like panels just being something to do in the town time, waiting for like guests at conventions. We want the panels to be the events of themselves as well. So we brought all the props in for people to touch and play around with. We sent people home with EVA foam.
Yeah, we
so
took
that
an
they
EVA
could
foam panel.
go back and experiment themselves with the foam and how it reacts to the different adhesives and things like that.
Yeah, it's just because, I mean, it was maybe like a nickel and foam, and we're like, here, go, and because this is what we use, we want you to play with it, because I know we were talking about Warbler in one of the panels, and someone paid $40 for a Warbler sample.
Wow.
And we were just like, here, have some EVA foam, go play with it. It's like cheap.
Yeah, while the Warbler is nice for doing details,
That's a different monster.
yeah, you can do a lot with just EVA foam at a much cheaper cost, and we try and be cost effective with costumes as well, which is just a philosophy that we follow. There's so many different takes on costumes, but this is what we believe is the best for us.
We also didn't have more than like 10, 15 people in the panel room at once, so it's always really nice to stop halfway, you know, if we try to have like 20 minutes of programming and then, or, you know, 20, 30 minutes of programming, and then the rest of it is just kind of open forum, because we ask people, hey, what do you want to make? Because not everybody is making the same costume. And that was really nice to have, you know, people are like, hey, how do I do this specific thing? And we say, this is what we would do, and then if people have questions that I didn't know, you know, I say, I don't know, try to see what happens, because I mean, I fail more than anybody.
Yeah. Probably the best turnout at a panel we had was for the shoe conversion and modification. This was the first time we'd done that panel at a convention, and now that we know that there's that much need of it, I mean, it's definitely something that we're going to be doing from here on out. The panels that we had, very, very wonderful people, more of an intimate setting with 120 people at the panels, so it was nice that we could have people just stand up, raise their hand and ask a question, and not have to be pulled up out of 40 rows of seats.
Awesome.
We were fixing people's cosplay props.
I see.
There is a cosplay emergency.
If you are at a convention, where we are at a convention, find us. I have something to fix your costume.
if you need somebody to help you fix your costume, and they're not under the arrested under the law, convention law, you know where to find them. We call those.
You're the cosplay vigilantes.
Yeah. That's awesome.
What?
I get a BBA.
I get to be to all of these wonderful listeners from Mission Start Podcast, I've had bronchitis the past 2 weeks, so I am on a lot of medication.
And this Saturday is my normal day.
I'm a little loopy.
I will say that going back to one of your panel was talking about, there's one other thing I like about cosplay is the fact that, you know, everybody has a different method of making the same thing, either it be in a manner of paying a lot of money for materials, or in your instance, paying for materials that are very inexpensive but still get the same effect.
Right.
I definitely love the creativity in that, and it's something that I think is really cool to see how one person would make something as cool looking with one way of doing it, while another person does the same thing but in a different way. So that was always cool to me, interesting to see for sure.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. Like we've known people who have made full Spartan armor that looks smart, movie quality, Spartan and Halo Spartan armor out of just EVA foam and Elmer's glue.
Wow, that is nuts.
And then we use like Mod Podge and Plasti Dip when we do armor, and it's amazing, which is something that I really love going to conventions and seeing how other people do things.
Wow.
And we're going to stick with the Plasti Dip method because it really works really well.
And I mean, it waterproofs all of the materials that you're using, so it also has a much longer shelf life of the inner costume as well.
Right,
Yeah.
right, definitely.
We've had stuff that's held up for 3 years plus now because of that.
Nice.
And that being said, we've also used, what's the word I'm looking for? Weird things in our costumes, like barometers and rugs. I used a rug once to make face fur.
That's awesome.
Bras as armor. Again.
Oh man, this could go down an entire conversation line of the past 10 years of material.
When you're first starting out in cosplay, like everything looks good. It's just like, yeah, I did make a costume out of hot glue and broadcloth. You can't. I tried, but I couldn't do it.
Right. Yeah.
Yes. All of you out there, 4 years ago, no, was it 5 years ago, I made a costume out of hot glue and broadcloth, and it did not work. Do not do it.
Wow, spoken from true words. Then right now.
And now we're getting awards and going places. So I mean, that was a hot glue gun in a dream.
Yes.
That's what I've been more, a hot glue gun in a dream.
That'll be a funny thing stuff.
Awesome. Was there anything else that you guys managed to check out when you're at the convention?
We went to IKEA. Sorry, I really like IKEA.
Yeah. IKEA was at the convention. That would have been a first.
That would have been interesting. Man.
The hotel stuff was awesome. I've been to, let's see, where were we? We were at a convention, and the bellhop was really rude to us, and was like chewing us out, and that was a really like bad convention experience for me because this bellhop was an employee, and he was chewing us out for being there. I think it was IkiCon 2012, and I mean, the hotel staff was so nice. They really do make or break a convention because that's guest service right there. Everyone was really friendly. I really can't stress that enough. The venue was really nice. I wish it was not cold.
Outside, yeah.
Yeah.
That's nothing else. The convention's controlled, though.
Yeah, the vendor room was stellar. They had something for everybody. And, I mean, it really just, everybody was just outstanding. Like, they had such a stellar, what's his name? Axelrod. Robert Axelrod?
Might have been, yeah.
He was there. He was a voice actor for
Lord Zed.
In Power Rangers.
Oh, nice.
In Digimon. He was there. He was very nice.
Armadillo.
I mean, they had, like, this awesome group of people, and it's just, like, it was just so quiet.
Interesting.
What struck me the most, and, I mean, there wasn't really, like I said, there wasn't a race.
And again, I think the numbers were there. I think from what I saw in the lobby area with the groups of people in cosplay and doing photos, if there was just a little bit more direction, that would have solved so many of the issues that everyone seemed to have at the convention. It was nothing negative against the staff that was there. It was just simply the signage and the direction for where things are and how to get to them.
Yeah, it was kind of like, you know, at a water park, how you have that like one really awesome water slide and then everybody wants to go on and it's like fun all the way down. This convention was like a lazy river. It was kind of
Yeah, I can definitely see that for sure.
like you have like the speedy one, the speedy slide that rips off your bikini, and then you have like the wave pool, which kind of, the convention comes in waves. This one was just kind of like a lazy river. It's kind of, it wasn't terribly exciting, but it wasn't horrible.
What was that?
It was not the worst convention that I've ever been to.
Right, definitely. Okay.
And me personally, I don't think it was bad.
It wasn't bad. It was,
I don't have anything negative to say about any of the people who were there on staff, whether it was the hotel or the con ops. Again, I just think it was the signage.
yeah, it was just kind of floating.
Okay. Last question then for both of you. Would you recommend this convention for next year, even with its faults from this past one?
I feel like they are going to make the efforts to change a lot of the issues that we ran into. Again, we weren't the only ones experiencing this, and I've seen not just from the guests and panelists in, but a lot of the people who attended have already contacted and talked to them about these things. So I feel like they are going to make the steps to do the improvement. I do recommend this as a convention to go to. It was not seedy, not bad. It was clean.
It was very
nice,
child friendly. It was very safe.
all ages appropriate. Didn't see any risky outfits. Even though she got sent back to the room to change on that first day, it was...
My shoes were also falling apart.
Yeah, it was not anything very revealing. It was full coverage.
It just looked like I wasn't wearing pants.
Yeah, so they did a very good job in controlling what was seen for people, and I think that they have everything in place to make it a wonderful convention. As long as they get the signs changed around and some announcements going, you will see those numbers increase next year, probably about threefold from what was there in the rooms we saw.
If you are wanting to go to a large convention experience like Dragon Con, A-Con, ASIN, KatsuCon, all those large A-list, you know, SDCC, NYCC, all those, this isn't the convention that you want to go to. If you want to go to a smaller convention and, you know, have a good time, take your family, be able to, I mean, it was really nice because, you know, at smaller conventions, you can actually go and talk to guests. I mean, there were people just sitting down at Philo Barnhart's station and just sitting with him for hours and talking to him and just talking to him about animation. Then this is the convention for you. But if you're looking for that fast-paced 24-hour convention, this is not the convention for you.
Okay.
Which I'm breaking it down that way because some people want to go to that Dragon Con experience. They want that Comic-Con non-stop, go, go, go all the time. They want something happening at all hours of the day. They want thousands of people there. Some people just want to go out for a weekend and have a good time and not worry about thousands of people and just kind of relax.
Not worrying about people breaking your wings that are walking by you when you have gigantic costumes.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I will
Yeah.
say that
Much more intimate feel, and it was kind of refreshing. It's nice to have a convention like that. If you have like 6 conventions a year that you're going to have a decent variety like that, I think is very important. That way you don't get burned out on the same thing
it's
over and over
really
again.
nice to have a laid-back convention.
Cool. Awesome. I think my last thing I want to add to this is that small conventions, while for some people who have been to major ones, feel like, you know, they're kind of like, you know, an afterthought. Many of those conventions, people will probably start out cosplaying from or getting interested into the convention scene So it is usually a place where not only is it to start forming friendships and just kind of going something local, but it's also, again, like, it's a cool place to go to, like, if you want to talk to voice actors or anybody of the higher like, that are really famous in the convention world. I think the only regret that I ever did was there was a time where I really want to go to a small convention over here, and of all people, Greg DiMaggio was going to be there, and I forgot the reason why I didn't go, but I was like, oh man, I'd love to meet him, talk to him, man, because he's freaking the voice of, like, Bender in, like, and Jake the dog. It's like, man, so many other voices.
I love small conventions. I am that person who loves sitting at a convention all day and talking to people and just talking to cosplayers, seeing what they do. I like small conventions because I get to do that, where you're not lost in the crowd. I don't like waiting 3 hours in a line for a signature that I have to pay $20 for.
Yeah, and again, it's kind of like comparing apples and oranges. You're doing big conventions. As a guest, you're getting rushed off to different places by the con staff itself, and it's kind of heartbreaking when you got people who want to come up, talk to you, take your picture, but you're just getting shuffled along to the next thing. And with a convention like this, we've had people who came to our panels and just sat down for about an hour afterwards when we were at the vendor's room and just talked. It's much more personable and more inviting in that aspect. And again, it's two very different things.
Okay, definitely agree. Well, I thank both of you for joining me on this podcast. Talk about your experiences at Kollision Con. Before we go, where can they find you guys on the internet?
You can find me, Apple David, at facebook.com/Apple Cosplay, and you can, is yours Facebook?
No, mine is Clayman Eberly at facebook.com. We're pretty much attached at the hip, so if you find one of ours, you'll find the other one right there as well.
Now legally attached at the hip.
It's science. Stitches.
And science. Yeah, we're actually conjoined husband and wife. We're conjoined spouses.
That's right.
Historical case. And also, if you want to come see us, our next convention is going to be Chi-Fi at the Palmer House, Houghton. It happens March 19th through 22nd. I love this convention. I am not paid to say that.
But if you like to, we might not as well.
Yeah, I wish I could be paid to say this because I would say it all the time. I say it all the time anyway. I love this convention. If you're in the Chicago area, you better be there because it is the best convention in the entire world. And last year we only got to go for one day because of some hiccups, which you can read about on chifi.org. And this year I am more than excited. Like, everybody is just absolutely flawless there. And we went to this one-day event, and I've been excited for it for a whole year to go back. But yeah, you can come and see us there.
And that is CHI-FI.
Yes.
For anyone who wanted to find their website.
Cool. Awesome.
You better be there, or else.
Awesome.
Or else you're going to have a boring weekend.
Agreed. You can follow me personally on Twitter at DefectiveNaruto. You can follow the work that I do as well as Apple and Clayman on our website at missionstartpodcast.com, where you can find not only this podcast but other work as well. By the time you listen to this, we have already put up most of or 2/3 of the Anime LA coverage on our website, as well as a podcast and photo galleries and photo shoots. Yeah, and expect more content to come. It is the start of the new year. It is the start of brand new conventions going on this entire year, and we cannot wait to cover them all. And with that, we see you guys next time.